Hello and welcome back to the new Manor Ground. It's a big one. The teams are coming out of the tunnel. ILKESTON Town taking on Sporting KHALSA. It is the definition of a six-pointer in the Midlands Premier League today. KHALSA fourth in the table. They do have 2 games in hand on ILKESTON though, which is what makes this so big. They're only 8 points behind. A win here today, they'll be 5 points behind with 2 games to play and the ball will be in their court. The Robins know they need a win today, and if they get a win, they'll put 11 points between themselves and KHALSA, at least 4 points clear at the top, and they will be big favourites to get a second promotion in 2 years. It's a beautiful day at the new Manor Ground. It is really sunny. I'm behind the glass in the clock tower stand, and it is like a greenhouse. It is baking in here at the minute. If not been with us on YouTube before, my name's Connor. We're in the clock tower stand, just on the far side of the pitch from the car park, where the Robins are doing some stretches at the minute. KHALSA just in front of their dugouts doing a few shuttle runs. I'll go through the lineups very quickly. I know we've got a minute's silence coming up. Now, you know what? I'll tell you about the minute's silence first, so I don't talk throughout the middle of it. It's for lifelong fan Bill Walters. He's a brother of ex-Town player Frank Walters. He died this week, aged 88. There's going to be a minute applause for him any second now. And the ref whistle's just gone. Just wanted to make sure that wasn't for it. It wasn't. Bill was a member of the Walters family, well known for making wooden sheds, and he went on to set up and run a removal business. The removal business, familiar to all ILKESTON residents, was closed when Bill became ill, but the wooden shed business is still being run successfully by Bill's son Mark, who is now the owner. Bill, along with the committee, organised an all-star football match on the old Manor Ground to raise funds for floodlights. He also helped organise the popular annual Hospital Cup for local football teams, which raises money for hospitals. Bill formed the local football club Valley Park, and over the years a number of his players went on to sign for ILKESTON Town. There are not many people in ILKESTON over a certain age who don't have a story to tell about Billy Waters. He's described as a true ILKESTON legend. As I say, the players just gathering around the semicircle now, just in preparation for that minute's applause, minute silence. Never too sure what it is this day and age. They're just about ready for that, so I'll go quiet for a few seconds. I'll come back with the team news for you. There we go. Billy Walters, lovely touching tribute to him hit there by the big crowd inside the new Manor Ground today. Looks like it's going to be KHALSA, I think, to kicking off. They're going to be shooting towards the ward stand, where most ILKESTON fans are based, and it's going to be their number 9 that gets us going down westward. Quickly go through the KHALSA team. Then in goal, Sam Arnold. Back 4 of Franco, Miles, Robinson and Williams. As far as I can see, I think it's a 4-3-3. So you've got a midfield 3 of Rico Taylor, Dave Mess, Mensah Kinch and the front three of Armstrong and Thomas on the wings, and Dan Westwood, the number 9, up top. He scored 22 goals this season, and he gets us underway here at the new Manor Ground. Ilkeston all in red shirts, red shorts, red socks. KHALSA wearing their yellow with blue stripes, blue shorts and blue socks. And they've got themselves an early free kick just in front of the Ron Brooks stand. Gives me a chance to give you the home team's lineup. So in goal, ever present Liam Mitchell. Back four, Billy Bennett's preferred today to Ryan Wheatley on the left. I think looking down there now, it looks like the surprise lineup really is Dion Meikle and Tom Marshall centre backs today. No Shaw or Baker. Baker is on the bench though. Shaw unavailable for this one. Lavelle White is on the right. So that's Bennett, Meikle, Marshall, White as a back four. Walker, Jordan Wheatley, Jermaine Hollis and Rico Fife is on the right. Looks like Elliot Rees is just playing, he's just lined up in the number 10 position with Alex Marshall up top wearing number 10. So Marshall retaining his place even though new signing Richard Brodie is on the bench for Ilkeston. And Elliot Rees thought he was through there, but the linesman puts up his flag on the far side of the field. Just to go through the subs for you. For KHALSA, Remy Birch, Alex Perry, Sean Booth, Mikel Beckley and Jay Holdcroft, who scored 2 against Finks in their last game out. Wouldn't be surprised to see him later on. For Ilkeston, Matt Baker, as I said, is dropped to the bench. Ryan Wheatley dropped to the bench as well. Richard Brodie, the new signing, he'll wear number 14 if he makes his competitive debut today. He did play in the friendly against Bilborough last week. Fabian Smith and Carl Dixon on the bench as well. It's been a bit of a bitty start here. A couple of free kicks going off, nothing too much happening, but Elliot Rees is through on the left-hand side, and again the linesman puts up his flag. It's been positive opening minute or two from the Robins. Obviously absolutely desperate to win this one today. They'll keep the league firmly within their grasp if they do win. And there's a really big crowd here to roar them home today. Definitely will be the biggest crowd at this step of English football this weekend here in Ilkeston. KHALSA have it in the area. It's blocked by Tom Marshall. It was just from a long punt from the goalkeeper. Route 1 stuff up to Josh Thomas, who almost got his shot away before Marshall blocked it. Ilkeston looking to counter-attack with Hollis on the halfway line. Cut out though by Robinson in the lime green boots. This is Mess. Plays it out wide as KHALSA look to get into the Ilkeston's half. Sean Williams on the left-hand side. He's got the better of Elliot Rees. Takes it on his right foot, goes for a shot, and that one's high over the ward stand, over the back of the fence, and into the field behind the new Manor Ground. 3.5 minutes gone. If you're just joining us, Ilkeston 0, KHALSA 0. No real chances for either side. Both sides, as you'd expect, look very much up for this one today, though. Just to let you know the other fixtures at this level. Sphinx are taking on Romulus. Coventry United of South Normanton. Highgate take on Quorn. Lyle take on Stourport. Shepshire take on Dunkirk. And Jamie Walker's taken on his man here, but he's just lost the ball, and KHALSA clear the danger. Worcester take on Long Eaton, and the one that we'll have an eye on as well, Walsall Wood, second in the table, take on Westfield, who are third in the table. KHALSA just played the ball round the Ilkeston back four there. Tom Marshall had to be alert to cover and get that one out. Both sides definitely playing with a very high line. There's been a lot of running off the last man. Nothing come of it just yet though. Still 0-0. We've got 2 balls on the pitch. And a KHALSA throw in front of the hatch. It's a long throw by Franco. It should drop to it's dropped to a KHALSA shirt. It gets a shot away, but it's blocked, and Bennett will clear it. Oh, it's a poor touch by Sean Williams, and Elliot Reeves almost capitalised. Williams has stayed down and he's actually won the free kick. And he's slowly getting back up now as Alex Marshall goes to help him up. Both these sides obviously very near the top of the table, Ilkeston right at the summit, but the visitors have only won one of their last 5 in all competitions, so Ilkeston will really fancy it today, and that was a really good challenge in the middle of the park by Jordan Wheatley, but he overhits his pass and it's back with the KHALSA keeper. Bit of a nervy start here. White's tussling with the man out wide, and he gets the better of Thomas and he wins the throw as well. Really big crowd here out in the sunshine at Ilkeston today. Still quite a few seats left in the clock tower stand, though, if anyone is listening to this while they're watching it. I've got to admit, personally, I prefer to be down by the sidelines where you can hear the players shouting at each other. Bit of confusion in the middle there. I think Jordan Wheatley should have won that ball, but he was blinded by the sun and KHALSA come away with it. They pumped it long to Bennett, who heads it away. And Walker goes long as well, but Elliot Reeves does well to take it, and he's taken on his man. He's got the better of Leon Miles, and he's left him on the floor. Elliot Reeves into the area. Oh, the ref's already blown. And he's blown for a free kick to KHALSA. It was on the far side, but I didn't see anything wrong there at all. Elliot Reeves looking up for this today. It's his 34th appearance of the season for Ilkeston. He's already into 30 goals, the 21-year-old. Has been doing a bit of training in the last month or two with the Notts County under 23. I know they were interested in him. But Ilkeston desperate to hold on to him and make sure they get this promotion. Alex Marshall it was there. He took a huge knock, but in classic Marshall style, he's got straight back to his feet. No free kick given either. Tom Marshall has the ball in the centre circle. He's lost it very high up into the air. It's dropped to Walker. Nice bit of control out to Bennett on the overlap, but the ball was bouncing and it's been headed out for a throw-in. Bennett takes it long and he takes it quickly, but it's headed away by KHALSA. Back with Walker. Bennett on the left-hand side. Hollis didn't win the ball. It's coming away with mess for KHALSA. Decides to go back to his keeper. They go long. There's a really good kick as well, actually. He's taken it right into the path of Dan Westwood. Here is Westwood. He's coming forward. He's got support if he wants it on the edge of the Ilkeston area. Gets his shot away, but didn't catch it. Bobbles, and Liam Mitchell gathers that one easily enough. As I said, 22 goals this season for Westwood. He's definitely their main man. Surprisingly though, when I was looking at the stats, he's not actually scored this calendar year. He's not scored since Boxing Day. So you can look at that either way. He's either a player out of form or is he due a goal? Ilkeston, I hope not. Tom Marshall has the ball again. Ops long for Walker. He gets his head to it, but Carlo Franco is going to pick up the scraps. Out wide to Kinch. It's all scrappy in the middle, and Hollis comes away with the ball well, knocks it back to Tom Marshall. And a few fans around me still taking their seats. In the 9th minute here, it's Ilkeston 0, KHALSA 0. You're listening on Ilkeston Town TV. And there's not been too much in the way of chances. Both sides definitely feeling each other out. One of those games where you're not sure if you take a point or not before the game, if you're a Robins fan, really. Both these sides do still have to play Walsall Wood, who are right in the mix as well. This is Westwood on the edge of the area. Dion Meikle puts in a good tackle there. Playing at centre half for the first time in a league game for Ilkeston. I think he played there in the League Cup game against Quorn. Oh, a bit of pressure by Marshall on the goal kick, and keeper just about gets away with it, and KHALSA pick it up in midfield. This is the big figure of Mess. Knocks it to his teammate. They've gone long, but Billy Bennett wins the ball as the last man. And the attempted free ball's played way over everyone, and it's gone out for a Liam Mitchell goal kick. So yeah, just to reiterate the table at the minute, Ilkeston played 29, 58 points. Walsall Wood played 29, 54 points. Westfield played 30, 53 points. So you'd probably fancy them the least out of these four. And KHALSA played 27 on 50 points. So even though it's December, this really does feel like the big one. A real 6-pointer here. Whoever wins will be favourite, that's for sure. And the keeper's come a long way out here on the left-hand side. He had to win it. Oh, he didn't have to win it, actually. The linesman's very, very, very late put up his flag against Elliot Reeves. Waited an eternity there, waited till the keeper ran all of 40 yards to make the tackle. Don't think we've got VAR in effect, so I don't know why he's delaying that long. There's a KHALSA free kick. Just inside their own area, 11 minutes gone. Still 0-0. Got the yellow shirt of Josh Thomas just hugging the touchline in front of us. White's watching him very closely, but the ball goes to the other side and it's gone out for a throw-in just in front of the bar for KHALSA. One thing that might be a factor is that Liam Mitchell definitely has the sun in his eyes this half. You'd imagine the KHALSA keeper won't have the same problem in the second half. Or if he does, it won't be for very long. He's not wearing a cap or anything yet, though. The big man in goal for Ilkeston, making his 37th appearance today for the club. Still only 26. He has looked really solid all season, really. He's been an absolute gem of a player for him. Some really big saves last time out here against, last league game out here against Worcester. He saved a fantastic one-on-one chance early on to keep it level. It's all very bitty in the middle at the moment. No one's able to get their foot on the ball. Jordan Wheatley's going to try, knocks it back to Dion Meikle. He spreads it out wide to Tom Marshall on the right-hand side, just in front of the dugout. Ventures into the KHALSA half before he goes long, and it's headed away easily by Mess. Mess, M-E-E-S-E. Not sure if that's Messy or Mess. I guess we'll find out. Walker into the area on a Messi-like run of his own, actually. He's knocked it back, though. Caught up by the defender, and Hollis picks it up on the dead ball line. Wins it back and sprays it into the area. This is Walker, overhead kick. Oh, it's a chance for Marshall, and it's gone wide of the post. First real sight of the goal for Ilkeston. It was a half chance, really. Marshall had his back to goal, not much pace on the ball. Could only really help it wide. Better from Ilkeston, though. The manager will want them to get their foot on the ball. Make sure they're doing the simple things right, as he said in his programme today. He also said that he believes today's game is between the two genuine title contenders, which tells you just how seriously the Awesome Boss has taken this one. KHALSA winning a lot of tackles in their own third. They're definitely looking to play on the break at the minute. But it's cut out that time by Meikle. This is Liam Armstrong just in the middle. He's lost the ball to Elliot Reeves, who plays it out wide to Walker, who's got a lot of space. Just going into the penalty area on the far side. Drills it low, but it's cleared. It's come out to Fife. He's held up by 3 yellow shirts, and he knocks it back to Bennett. So a long ball in. Marshall's there with the header. I think it's going to go over the bar. It is. There's a looping header. Better football though from Ilkeston. This is a better few minutes from them. .40 minutes gone here. Ilkeston Town 0, KHALSA 0. I've not checked, but hopefully the YouTube is still live, which always makes a nice change. It is. KHALSA just take the goal kick, and it's lumped forward. There's a bit of a foot race on here with White and Thomas. White wins the header, tries to get it back to Marshall, but he's knocked it out for a corner. He wants a foul. Thomas wants a foul as well. It was just, both of them going for the ball at speed there. Certainly no foul. It'll be a KHALSA corner though, just in front of the clock tower stand. At about 15 minutes gone, still 0-0. It's going to be the number 10, Liam Armstrong, to take it. Making his 33rd appearance of the season. Liam Armstrong, he did play in the... No, he didn't play against ILKESTON actually in September. He's playing now though. He's got this ball in. It's going to go right to White and it's headed away. Nothing comes of it. It's back to Thomas, whipped into the area. Marshall clears it away. Reeves can't hold it up well enough and KHALSA have it back straight away. Hollis misses his tackle and the ball went into the middle of the field where there wasn't much danger, but the rest given a free kick for the late tackle by Hollis. It's the number 11, Josh Thomas, who stayed down as the KHALSA physio comes on. He did play the last game, Josh Thomas. Only the one change, I believe, from KHALSA from their last game. And that's Taylor, who came in for Perry. Josh Thomas and who's the other one? Kinch. They've swapped wings, number 7 and 11 today. Which suggests they're probably decent on either foot. So I'll be looking for them to cut inside. There's a KHALSA free kick. They've got all the big men forward, including the captain, Teffer Robinson. He's towards the back, the big man. It's in towards the back. Well, it's towards the goal actually, and it's gone all the way wide. But Liam Mitchell wasn't sure. He was backtracking there. Tried to make sure, didn't get a hand on it, but didn't need to. And it's an ILKESTON goal kick. About 17 minutes gone here, it's still 0-0. Not too many chances for either side yet, both still trying to get into the groove. Very different occasion this for KHALSA than their last game. I think they only had 63 people, I think it was, at their last game. Yeah, at Coventry Sphinx. Really big crowd here today. I'd optimistically say at least 10 times that number. As Hollis commits a second foul within a minute, right in front of the referee, but the ref waves away protests of a yellow card from the KHALSA players, just inside the semicircle. Making his 14th appearance today, Hollis. He's played more often than not actually since he's come in. Signed from Hensford Town at step 3. Here's Kinch whipping the ball in. It's messed with the header, it's over the bar. It just came off, more of his shoulder neck area than his forehead. Tried to flick it on at the near post, but he's put it over. A few half chances though for KHALSA starting to creep in. And the new manor ground is a lot more quiet than you'd expect actually for such a big crowd on such a nice day. Nothing yet happened to really wake anyone up. Jordan Wheatley fighting with 3 or 4 KHALSA players to win the goal kick, but KHALSA come away with it. This is Thomas on the left-hand side. Gets his cross in, cleared by Bennett, and White flicks it on. Kinch, Armstrong. Fife come back and he's put himself in there and he's held up the right back. But here's the left back now, Sean Williams, just in front of us. Fife wins it there. Williams thinks he was blocked. He definitely wasn't, and ILKESTON will actually come away with a free kick from that, which White's going to take. Decent amount of fluidity from KHALSA so far. They are mixing up who's playing where, making it hard for ILKESTON to track them. Which is pulling Tom Marshall quite wide as well. It's Deal Meikle this time wearing the captain's armband today. He wins the second ball and smashes that out of play into the Ron Brooks stand for a KHALSA throw-in. Just his fifth appearance for the club, Dion Meikle. That's started the last 3 though. So to my knowledge, he's already played defence, midfield and attack in those 5 games. Ilkeston need to get a bit of energy and urgency into this now as Marshall tries to thread it through, but it's cut out easily enough. Hollis wins it back. He's started well, Hollis. He's won a lot in the middle. He's out wide now. Rides a tackle, finds Elliot Reeves in the area. He gets his shot away. He's found the bottom corner. And Ilkeston lead. Oh, it's a beautiful cross by Hollis. Picks out Elliot Reeves, who makes no mistake. He's got his 31st goal of the season. We're only in February. And Ilkeston Town lead in the big 6-pointer against KHALSA as it stands, and it's still early days, but they will be 11 points clear of the second favourites for the title. What a big goal that might have proved to be, and it's Elliot Reeves. Who else? '21st minute, that will go down as. A lot of credit to Jermaine Hollis in the build-up. He won it in the middle. Went out wide, gets his cross in. Not too often I see him go out wide, but he did really well there. It was a good cross. Elliot Reeves takes a touch, reverses the ball, puts it into the opposite corner. Keeper, absolutely no chance. And there's a bit more noise and atmosphere in the new Manor Ground now. They're not going to win the title today, but this really would feel like a huge step. Ilkeston looking positive now. Hollis in the middle of the field. He's got a lot of runners ahead of him if he wants to use them, but he's tackled by Kinch. So he goes back to Bennett instead. Looks for Alex Marshall, who's on the last man's shoulder, and the linesman, again, very slow to raise his flag, but raise it he does. So 22 minutes gone at the new Manor Ground. Ilkeston Town 1, Sporting KHALSA 0. KHALSA just trying to come to terms with going behind. They were last behind against Shepshed. They ended up losing that one 2-1. A game which Shepshed did deserve to win. A lot of Ilkeston fans, I know, saw that one. They took a bus up. It was a real good game, that one, actually. It had a bit of everything. Red cards, goals, off the field fighting between the managers, not the fans. And a really good relationship between the Shepshed fans and the Ilkeston fans as well, which, you know, they say that the 12th man wins your points. I think the Ilkeston fans might have won Shepshed the points that day. It was a really cracking atmosphere. A lot quieter here at the minute, though, I've got to say. Not the usual boisterous chanting. Everyone still a touch nervous, although that goal has done a lot to ease the nerves. Billy Bennett's trying to control a bouncing ball, and he does well to not concede the corner, or does he? I think the ref might agree with Kinch there that it was a corner. And it is. KHALSA have a corner. Josh Thomas goes over to take it. And the big men are up again. What an important win this will be if Ilkeston can win it. It really will feel like a huge stride if they can hold on to this. KHALSA needs to respond quickly though. They've got a flick on with Westwood. Oh, that wasn't far away. It grazed Westwood's head. He was at the near post, going for the back post with his header. And it has just skimmed the far post. Mitchell wouldn't have got there. But Ilkeston get the rub of the green on that one. 24 minutes gone. Ilkeston Town 1, KHALSA 0. Keep an eye out later in the week for video highlights of this on YouTube. I'll try and put this commentary over them, so it's not quite as it's a bit more atmospheric when you got the crowd noise there as well, of course. Might have to try and do a little bit of editing, because I know my voice went pretty high when Elliot Reeves scored, and that's going to be embarrassing to listen back to. But if they win it, will we care? Well, yeah, I'll still care. This is Hollis in the middle of the field. He's played it to Fife, who's also really central, which has given White a chance to get out wide. He's going to take on the left back White. Fife does well to catch up with him and almost won a corner out of that, but the linesman's going to give a goal kick. Good link-up play between Fife and White. I think a lot of people assumed only one of them would ever be in the team, really, when the new manager came. Both primarily right wingers. But Lavelle White slowly starting to adapt to the right back position. Definitely not more defensive than having a natural fullback there, obviously. But he's not done too bad. And it's nice to see him linking up well with Fife. It means Ilkeston are lethal when it comes to counter-attacking down this right-hand side. Rico Fife just marking Met from this KHALSA throw-in in front of the dugout. Fife spent last season playing college football in Florida. I feel like I'm in Florida now. It's beautiful in Derbyshire today. Absolutely gorgeous day. Feels like the first weekend of spring. Alex Marshall's got a spring in his step here. He's taking on Robinson, but again the linesman slowly puts up his offside flag. And we'll have to hang about for a KHALSA free kick. Met in the middle, out wide to Franco. Forward, and Westwood's got Meikle all over him. He didn't give him a chance to settle there, but Taylor's come away with the ball for KHALSA. Played it back to Franco. And well, Walker tried to clear it. The ball's gone out of play for a throw-in. I think that should have been a Robbins throw-in, but not to worry, because Billy Bennett has cleared the second ball straight up where it came from. Franco has played it forward again. Billy Bennett's alert to it, and he's beat his man very well there. He put the ball almost through the legs of Kinch in a very dangerous position. Taylor a little step over before he plays his pass out to the wide man. He's put it out of play in front of a big gathering of Ilkeston fans who were cheering. Ironically, at that misplaced pass. Still 1-0 here. Quick word on Lavelle White, because I think he has played quite well recently. He's not always been the most popular Ilkeston player, from what I've noticed with the fans. I think the skillful winger does often lose the ball, doesn't he? So a lot of people can get frustrated by that, but he's a very good player. This is his 68th appearance for the club. He's actually training at Carrington at Man United's academy as a kid. When he was, I think he was contracted by Walsall, and they had a bit of I think they were a satellite club for Man United at the time, so he's trained with some of the best. Fowler clearly likes him. He started 8 of Fowler's last 9 games. 9 in 10 now, I suppose. And he's being asked to do a defensive job here. He's got a foot race on with Westwood, and Mitchell's there to make sure neither of them win it. And he smashes the ball over the Ronbrook stand and into the road. KHALSA throw-in. This is Sean Williams on the left-hand side, doubled up by Fife and Reeves, and Ilkeston come away with the ball, and they've got a throw-in. As Ian Deacon takes a very long time to hand the ball over to White. Surely we're not time wasting already, are we, guys? We've only played half an hour. Still 1-0 to the Robins. They would settle for that right now. Alex Marshall tries to play in Walker. He's pressured the fullback well. He comes away with the ball. He's pokes it home. No, he hasn't. It's just gone wide. What a chance. Great work by Walker. He just got his toe on the end of the ball, and it looked like it was going to nestle in the far corner, but it's just gone wide. Still 1-0. I think a lot of the fans around me thought that had gone in. It's one of those chances which just seems to go in slow motion. Walker making his 85th appearance for the club today. No one's done more. Scored 34 goals in that time. He only needs 2 more goals actually to equal what he did last season. He's having a really good season as the 25-year-old. And It's just a KHALSA throw in here, just on the far side in front of the bar. Let's see if I can get some score updates. It'd be interesting to see what's happening in Walsall Wood as ILKESTON have a free kick for offside. Well, the news from Walsall Wood is Westfield's lead 1-0. Not too sure who scored it, but Westfield's in third place and having already played a game more than ILKESTON, lead Walsall Wood, which no one really seems sure who they want to win that one, but I've got to say I think a Westfield win would suit ILKESTON more than a Walsall win. Of course it would mean ILKESTON extend their gap at the top if results stay as they are. So 1-0 to Westfield, 1-0 to Ilson. And the ball's just in front of the dugout again with Armstrong. He's rammed into by Tom Marshall and the ref says that was too hard. And he's given a free kick. All fairly calm in the dugouts at the minute. Anyone who's at the Shepshed game standing near the managers knows that wasn't the case for the Shepshed KHALSA game. It's all very pleasant down there at the minute. It's not very pleasant inside the clock tower though. I am debating just taking off my trousers because I am boiling behind this glass. It's basically a greenhouse. This is Fife, who opted to let the ball run out for a throw-in rather than picking it up and going for a run. And he's taken his time to give the ball to White. There's definitely no urgency from ILKESTON at the minute. I'm not sure we're going to time waste for the next hour. Well, they'll be able to waste a little bit more time here actually because they've got a free kick in a fairly good position actually. It's probably about 35 yards out. It is far to the right hand side, just in front of the turnstiles at the new Manor Ground. And Jordan Wheatley's gone over to take it. Jordan's going to take it right-footed here. All the big men are forward, as you'd expect for ILKESTON. And it's just a two-man KHALSA wall. They'll all be shielding their eyes from the sun as the ball comes in. The keeper scrambles to get to his back post, but the ball's gone over everyone, and it's going to be a goal kick. Quite an interesting little team, KHALSA, actually. They were founded just in 1991 by the local Sikh community, a lot of Sikh fans. They actually were the first Asian semi-pro team in the country to own its own ground, so a nice bit of history for them there. They have been very well. They've always been towards the top of this division, really. And they came third last season. No, it was fifth last season, third the year before that. As the ball's back with their keeper now. Again, no one can really get control of this. They were third in the 15-16 season as well. But they're fourth at the minute in the Midlands Premier. And obviously with only one team going up, if they want to be that team, they'll feel they really do need to win this. I'm not sure either team would see a draw as a disaster, given how unpredictable this league can be. Hollis just loses the ball in the middle. KHALSA always trying to break away, but ILKESTON do have more than enough men back here. This is Frank on the left-hand side, just in front of Ian Fowler. Oh, he's beat his man very well there. He beat Fife. White's going to have a go at him as well. White does a little bit better, but KHALSA still have the ball. This is Armstrong, whips it towards the back post. Bennett should win the header, but he doesn't. It's come to Kinch. He's sort of stumbling on the ball just on the edge of the area, and Bennett's holding him up. Ball's back in towards the back post. No one's there. And it should be cleared by Fife. He's got Armstrong all over him. Fife desperate to go down for a free kick here. He's just waiting for the touch. He holds him off very well. He's really strong there. And Alex Marshall clears it up to his brother. And it's just gone out in front of the stand for a throw-in, which White's going to take. So yeah, they finished 5th last season, KHALSA, which was a bit of a challenging season for them. They ended up having to ground share with Wolfronians for 6 months. I think they were top of the league for quite a while. And then when the ground share came along, their form drastically dipped. So they'll be looking to go again this season, and they've done very well. Bit of a collision off the ball there. Elliot Reeves just running on the last man. He's brought down by the skipper, who's protesting with the linesman, and the rest called him over, so I think he's going to book him here. Some ambitious chance for a red card from the stand next to me. He is on the far side in front of the turnstile, so I won't really be able to tell what colour the card is until I hear the reaction. If it's a boo, it's a yellow. If it's a cheer, it's a red. There are the boos, so it was a yellow for the KHALSA skipper. And Ilkeston have a free kick in a fairly dangerous area. Again, it's on the far side, and because of the sunshine, it's very hard to see the pitch markings, but it looks to me like they're just on the edge of the area. But it is quite wide on the right-hand side as we're looking at it, so Bennett's gone over to try and curl it left-footed. It's just going to want to fizz it towards the back post. If it gets a touch, great. If it doesn't, maybe it catches the keeper out. He has already scored once this season, Bennett. It's a bit lower. And it has gone for everyone, I think, and it's into the back of the net. I'm not sure if it got a flick by Meikle, but no one cares. Bennett's celebrating, he's claiming it. It did go all the way in. And the Robins lead 2-0. The KHALSA manager is absolutely furious with the referee for giving the free kick. It did definitely look like a free kick, just an off-the-ball incident. They just sort of barged into each other. Elliot had the ball, Elliot goes down. You're going to get a free kick for that every day of the week. And the Robins have made them pay for that. They lead 2-0. We're about 8 minutes away from half-time here. KHALSA have come close. That Westwood header was a close one, but Mitchell's not had to make a save yet. KHALSA keeper's not made a save either, to be fair. And we are going up as being chanted by the stand behind Mitchell's goal. And the Robins, when they get themselves in front, they tend to stay in front. They are starting to come back into form. Ilkeston, really disappointing result in the league against KHALSA. Sorry, not against KHALSA, against Corn. But that aside, it has been a lot better for them. This is Fife looking to add to it. He's found Elliot Reeves just on the edge of the area. He's got 2 men around him and he goes down. I think he slipped, to be fair. The ball's back with Fife. He's got White on the outside. There's a lovely little turn and goes inside to Walker instead. He tries to get it back to him. It's fallen to Reeves. He's onside. He's found the back of the net. Ilkeston are 3-0 up. And we've not even played 40 minutes. Elliot Reeves again. What's that? 32 goals in 34. The guy's gonna be a Football League player. No doubt about it. But before he does that, he wants to be a Midlands Premier champion. And that is how Ilkeston are looking at the minute. We've got a long way to go in this one, but surely they're not going to throw this away now. They are 3-0 to the good. Oh, incredible. The atmosphere is completely different to what it was even 15 minutes ago. Well, what did KHALSA do from here? They did a mini fight back against Shepshed, but it wasn't enough. But that was only when they were 2-0 down. And even then, Shepshed had 10 men and created the better chances. They're 3-0 down here. We're not even at half time. It's all Ilkeston at the minute. Hollis beats his man in the middle, tries to thread it through. Looked like it hit Mess's hand, but the ref letting it go. A few meaty challenges coming in now. A lot of KHALSA players are looking irritated and annoyed, and heads are dropping. New signing Richard Brody's just making his way to the changing room just before half time. I wonder if that's a sign that he'll be coming on at the break. ILKESTON don't really need any more goals. We'll settle for a clean sheet now, but they might have another goal. They won't, because even though Alex Marshall's put that into the side net and the linesman's flag is up for offside. Really good atmosphere now behind Liam Mitchell's goal. It's ILKESTON 3, KHALSA 0 if you're just joining us. About 5 minutes to go before half time. And ILKESTON are hitting form at just the right time. They really struggled in December. They only won one of their 6 games. They won 3 of 4 in January. And their form is slowly getting better and better. Elliot Reeves couldn't make it any better on this occasion. He's just outrun the ball and it's gone out for a KHALSA goal kick again. All the action has been on the far side. Sorry that I've been sketchy on the details. But yeah, it's a positive thing. It's been all ILKESTON so far. This is Armstrong in the middle. KHALSA are going to have to try and change something here, because they're getting absolutely no joy in the way they've been playing so far. This is Kinch, tries to get it forward to Westwood, but Dion Meikle, who's won absolutely everything that he's had in his vicinity so far, gets that one away as well. Franco plays it forward, but it's onto the head of Walker. And Franco and Alex Marshall both try and win the ball. Marshall went down quite lightly, but he's actually stayed down there, so I don't know if he got a stamp on the foot or something rather than anything else. Anyway, ball's back with Liam Mitchell. Well, if ILKESTON were thinking of draining the clock down at 1-0, don't really need to drain it when you're 3-0 up, do you? It's going to be a party tonight if it stays like this. White's got a throw in just in front of the turnstiles. We've got about 42 minutes gone. This is Fife just on the byline. He's got White alongside him. As someone shuts the door in the clock tower pretty loud. They're ganging up on the full-back there for KHALSA. And the full-back wins the free kick, but it's good to see a bit of fight. Even if it is, 100 yards away from your own goal. Not long till half time. Still 3-0. KHALSA goal kick. And the ref blows a whistle for a foul, I think. He's given a free kick to Marshall just before the break. All about trying to keep a clean sheet now for the Robins if they can. They have gone 5 games without one though. Only 1 clean sheet in the last 8. But it's been a while. Well, they don't often concede more than 1 or 2 at home, that's for sure. This season it has been a case of if you score 3, we'll score 4, so... They've done very well defensively, especially Dion Meikle wins the ball again in the middle of the field, and Hollis picks it up, who again's played well. And he's won a free kick as well. Well, I feared the worst for ILKESTON when Baker and Shaw weren't on the team sheet. But defensively they've been solid so far, and that's a rash challenge by Josh Thomas, just in front of the linesman, in front of the turnstiles on Fife. Just took him out as Fife went running. And he should get booked, but he's not going to get booked. Very cynical challenge. ILKESTON have a free kick. They've gone short this time though. This is White. Plays it back to Wheatley. Back to White. Sidesteps his man. Plays it into Fife. He's just stumbled on the ball and he loses out to Mess. And KHALSA trying to break here, but again Mikkel's there having absolutely none of it, and he's lashed that back to the KHALSA keeper. Nothing's got past him yet. Did play, obviously signed from Baseford, mostly played at left back or centre mid for them. But he, when Fowler bought him, he did say he signed him as a centre half, and it's going to be hard to, well, it's going to be hard for Baker or Shaw to get back in the team, to be honest with you. If he's playing like this, he has looked a class act out there as centre half, as Dion Mikkel. We've played the 45 minutes here. I'm expecting the toilet rush to come any minute behind me. Which I should point out, if you've not listened to the YouTube before, I am stood in front of toilets. I'm not saying that, yeah, you know. Ref's just having a word here with Liam Mitchell. He's just taken a long time to take a free kick. To be honest, it wasn't taking any longer than any of the other goal kicks, but the ref just wants to warn him ahead of the second half that he's not going to put up with much time wasting. Don't think ILKESTON need a time waste. They've been the better side out there today. They've looked really clinical, really sharp, and really defensively strong as well. KHALSA, one last throw of the dice before half-time though. They're coming forward with Kinch, just plays it out to the left-hand side, and this is Sean Williams. He's got Josh Thomas ahead of him, but he goes inside to the huge figure of Dave Mess instead. It's like a midfield Peter Crouch, this lad. He's back on the ball here. ILKESTON got numbers forward, and he tries to thread it through to Westwood, but it's cut out by Mikkel, and Tom Marshall clears. Up again to his brother, who does enough to pick the full-back off, and Fife cuts inside, winning the ball before Liam Armstrong comes in and wins the tackle. Strong tackle back from Fife in front of the referee. Goes to ground, but he wins it fairly. This is Walker in the middle. He's got Reeves just inside ahead of him, but he goes out wide to Bennett instead. He wants to get into the area, but Bennett's cross is over everyone, and it's into the fans behind the goal. Not sure there's too many visiting fans from what I can see at the minute. No flags or anything like that in the far end. But it'll be the Robins fans that are going to enjoy their half-time cup of tea, and the talk will be about promotion. This really does feel like a huge game for both these clubs. And the half-time whistle goes. ILKESTON Town 3, Sporting KHALSA 0. You couldn't ask for better than that at half-time, you really couldn't. 2 goals from Elliot Reeves puts ILKESTON ahead. The other one, I think, will go down to Billy Bennett. It was his free kick. Might have taken a nick off someone, but don't think it deflected the ball at all. ILKESTON, really good value for this lead. KHALSA started bright, had a few half chances, but couldn't work Mitchell. ILKESTON have looked absolutely clinical, and they just need to make sure they're right for the next 45 minutes. That's Lee Fowler's job now. But yeah, join us in 15 minutes, half-time score, ILKESTON 3, KHALSA 0. And off we go for the start of the second half in what's proven to be a really significant day in the Midlands Premier League. ILKESTON 3-0 up. The first half literally couldn't have gone any better for them. I asked some fans before the game if they'd take a draw. Nearly all of them said yeah. Wonder what they would have said to 3-0 at the break. They're going to try and start on the front foot here. Billy Bennett's going to take a long throw in, just in front of the clock tower stand. And it's headed away by the skipper, back to Bennett, into the mixer. Marshall's there with a header, keeper gets fingertips to it and is cleared off the line by Franco. KHALSA try to clear the danger, but it's not quite gone. This is Jordan Wheatley. Out to Billy Bennett. Walker's in the middle, as is Alex Marshall. But the skipper again, Robinson, gets it away for KHALSA. Well, 4-0, and heads really will be dropping from KHALSA's point of view. I'm sure their manager's done the best he can to get their heads right for the second half, but they've got a huge task in their hands if they're going to turn this around. Ball's just bobbling about in midfield in front of the dugout. Bennett plays it over the top and Marshall chases it, but the keeper should win it, and he does. Puts it into touch. This is Marshall. Not much support in the middle, but he's fine. Fife, who side foots it just wide from the middle. He was about 20 yards out. He took it first time on the side foot, and he just puts it to the right-hand side of the keeper's post. That's 2 decent chances already for Ilkeston, and we've only played a minute and 50 seconds of the second half. The lads are absolutely buzzing, you can tell. Gotta say, really good to see so many fans around the ground at half time with Derby shirts on, Forest shirts on, County shirts on. It's great to see people who perhaps would usually go to a much bigger football league club in the Midlands coming down today to support Ilkeston. Of course, none of them playing at home today. And we've got a really big turnout because of it. Ball's just in the middle of the field with Franco, but the rest blown up for a free kick. Walker was the aggressor there, just on Kinch. The referee just having a word with him, telling him to watch it. Ilkeston don't need to do anything silly. Just to recap some of the half-time scores for you, by the way. The one we had an eye on, Walsallwood 1, Westfield 1, was the half-time score there, which wouldn't be a bad result at all for Ilkeston, would it? Thomas's free kick into the area. Marshall can only punch it. It will come out to Kinch a long way out. Takes a shot on though. It's deflected, and White's got it now. And it's gone out for a throw-in just in front of the club shop. It looked to me that White tried to lever it away and hit the hand of Robinson, who was up there. And I'm not sure if it hurt his hand or he's desperately trying to prove it didn't hit his hand because he stayed down holding his stomach. Or maybe I'm wrong, you know, it has been known. As anyone who followed the tweet, the live tweeting of the Bilborough friendly last week will know that I am prone to an error or two. In my defence, there's no team sheets for that one, but I pretty much got every player wrong. I thought Smith was Jebison, I thought Brody was Rickford, and I thought nearly every other player on the field was Ryan Wheatley. Got the help of a bit of sunshine and the team sheet today though to bring you this one. My name's Connor, you're listening on Ilkeston Town TV, if you are still with me. Inauspicious start here. KHALSA really struggling to thread any sort of passing together. You can tell that they're lacking a bit of confidence now. They have been good away from home though in the league, KHALSA. In their 12 away games, they've actually won 7 of them. Ilkeston have played 14, only won 5, so they're not a side that has struggled as badly on the road as Ilkeston have, but Ilkeston, of course, for the most part of the season have been formidable at home, backed by such a big fan base. Only 3 home games left after this for Ilkeston, so I think the feeling really is that these home games are key because you never know what can happen on the road in this league. There's been some really surprising results. South Normanton away is the first one that comes to mind. This is Fife looking to make sure this one's done and dusted as quickly as possible. He's played it into Alex Marshall, and the left back did well to nick it away from him just before he was about to let rip. This is Williams on the left-hand side, but Fife's won it off him, and the rest given a needless free kick, and KHALSA have a chance here to clear their lines. We played 50 minutes here if you're just joining us. Ilkeston 3, KHALSA 0. The other half-time scores, incidentally, I never did say them. Coventry Sphinx 1, Romulus 1. Coventry United 0, South Normanton 1. Not sure on the Highgate score, not sure on the Lyle score. Loughborough 0, Wolves Sporting 2, Shepshed 1, Dunkirk 1, Walsallwood 1, Westfield 1, and Worcester City 0, Long Eaton 0. There's 3-0 course here to Ilkeston, and it is still that way with 5 minutes of the second half played. Billy Bennett tries to get a loose ball away, but it's blocked and it'll be a throw-in. Just to the car park side of the Ronbrook stand, if you like. Jamie Walker thinks he's through here, but he was miles offside, and he puts the ball against the crossbar. Oh, and the referee's going to book him for that. Do us a favour, referee. You're 3-0 up, you're playing football in the sunshine, there's a late flag, the ball's bouncing. He just very lightly tapped it towards goal. Oh, and the ref booked him for kicking the ball away. Oh. I don't know. I guess is that the law? I don't think if that is the law. I don't think that's what it was brought in for, was it? Anyway, KHALSA have the ball in the middle of the field on the left-hand side. This is Josh Thomas taking on Bennett. He's gone inside now and he's still continued his run. He's done really well, but he couldn't find the final pass, and he's poked it out for a Liam Mitchell goal kick. Round of applause though from his manager. Likes what he's seeing there. A bit of drive and desire and forward thinking from his team. As just below the clock tower stand, Player and Rickford are having a bit of a family gathering there, neither in the squad today. Ball's cleared from the goal kick by Liam Miles, and Tom Marshall, I think, was adjudged to have fouled Jay Holdcroft in the centre of the field. This will be his 36th appearance, Jay Holdcroft, of the season. He's only made 10 starts though, and he scored 2 goals in 2 minutes in their last game when they won at Coventry Sphinx last Saturday. Rather surprising that he doesn't start more if that's what he's capable of. Ilkeston will need to keep an eye on him today. He's wearing the number 12, the half-time sub. At the minute, Billy Bennett and the rest of the back four have kept an eye on everyone very well. They come away with the ball again, Ilkeston, and they've got a throw in. The ball really, for a few minutes now, has just been stuck just in front of the turnstiles. Ilkeston very happy to let KHALSA have the ball as long as they're not going to get in behind them. And Lee Fowler pointing all over the pitch, yelling instructions at his team. He's definitely not going to want to let this slip. And what a message it will be to the rest of the league as well if Ilkeston can come away with 3 points here. It's only February, but it really will feel like it's all done and dusted to a lot of those sides, you think. I'll go through a live update of the table actually in a second. Ilkeston are just coming forward here with Hollis, but the ball's overplayed by Wheatley, and it's gone back to Sam Arnold. But yeah, just from how it stands at the minute, Ilkeston would be top with 61 points, Walsall Wood second with 55, as KHALSA clear their lines very badly here, and Alex Marshall, well, might have had a chance, but the number 4 Miles was far too strong for him, and KHALSA had the ball back. But yeah, Ilkeston 61, Walsall Wood 55, Westfield's 54, KHALSA 50. With those 2 games in hand is how it would look if results stay as they are. Really strong tackle by Fife, again in a very needless area, just from a KHALSA goal kick on the left back. And the ref, who's not been shy to reach for his pocket, is going to do it again here. And I can see Lee Fowler turning away and not disgust, but just, come on, ref. Not every tackle's a booking, is it? Anyway, KHALSA goal kick. So if results stay as they are, Ilkeston would have an 11-point lead on KHALSA. KHALSA would have those 2 games in hand, but that's a huge gap to make up, isn't it? They'd have a 6-point lead on Walsall Wood, who still have to play both Ilkeston and KHALSA. And they'd have a 7-point lead on Westfield, who have played a game more. You don't want to count your chickens, but there's a reason they're referring to this one as the big one today. Just a bit of a break here for a KHALSA substitution. The right back, Franco's coming off, Booth's coming on. Yeah, that's right. So that's 2 of the KHALSA subs already made. We've played 55 minutes. Ilkeston 3, KHALSA 0. KHALSA not really shown anything, really, to be honest with you. I did go to the game when they played against Shepshed, and I didn't think they looked great that day either. I think I said a bit earlier, they have had a bit of a sticky patch of form. They've only won 1 of their last 5. They had 2 league defeats on the bounce before they won last Saturday. Yeah, it's been very patchy from them. It's been, I think it's 6 wins, 6 defeats in the last 13. So they're not exactly going to have loads of confidence. And they're not playing like it either. They're 3-0 down here. They are starting to try and get a counter-attack going, but Tom Marshall's getting the better of Westwood. Again, hasn't scored since Boxing Day, and he hasn't... Well, he had a half chance in the first half, but that was really all it was. Been really impressed so far by the back 4 of Ilkeston. This is one of them. Billy Bennett nods it forward, but that should be cut out. Elliot Reeves isn't going to get that, but the second ball is dropped to Fife, back to Bennett. I'll go through the team sheets again in a second as well. Bennett lobs it over everyone. Don't think Walker was going to get that, but the flag was up anyway. So just to confirm the players on the field then. For Ilkeston, it's Mitchell, Bennett, Meikle, Marshall, White. Oh, 1,022, the attendance at the new Manor Ground. We've hit the 4-figure mark. In the 9th tier of English football. Wow, that's sensational, isn't it? Just to put that into perspective, Ilkeston weren't playing last week. There were 7 games in the league though, and the combined attendance of all of them was about 615. We've got over 1,000 here at Ilkeston today. Fantastic stuff. Anyway, sorry, I'm not good at being sidetracked as a goal kick's taken by KHALSA. I'll hold off on the lineups for a second because KHALSA have got into the Ilkeston third, but Fife and White are doubling up well to push them back and back and back. This is the big figure of Met, plays it out wide, whipped in towards Westwood and headed away by Meikle. Corner for KHALSA. So sorry, the lineups quickly. Mitchell, Bennett, Meikle, Tom Marshall, White. Walker, Jordan Wheatley, Jermaine Hollis, Rico Fife, Elliot Reeves and Alex Marshall for the Robins. For KHALSA, it's a bit more complicated because they've made some subs, so I can't just read it. So I'll wait till the corner's taken. It's whipped in towards the middle. Again, Liam Mitchell gets a glove to it. It's fallen back to Josh Thomas, who tries to get it back in, but it's cleared. The ball's bouncing. Messer gets the better of it. It seemed to have his hand up though, right in front of the referee, and the Robins have a free kick. Alex Marshall's hugging the left touchline, screaming for it. He's in lots of space, but I don't think his brother can see him. I'm not sure his brother's in too much of a rush. He's trying to put it up to it now. It's just a long punt like you might see at the Millennium Stadium later. Into Walker, didn't really get hold of the shot. He did force a save of Sam Arnold, but yeah, sliced that one, Walker. No power on it. So the KHALSA lineup, Sam Arnold in goal. They've got a back 4 of Booth, Williams, Miles and Robinson. Mess Kinch. Bit of a Freudian slip there. Jay Holdcroft and Thomas and Westwood and Armstrong complete the 11 players they've got on the field, I think. Losing count a little bit with all the substitutes. They've got a free kick just inside the Ilkeston half. Not much of a threat from them this half yet. It's a very long, hopeful ball forward, taken down by the left back. Kinch plays it back in. Hollis has missed his kick and it's come to Holcroft, who scored 2 in the last game. Gets it into the middle. Oh, that looked like a great chance, but the ball was cleared away. That was some top defending there. I think it was Billy Bennett that got that away. The ball had gone past Mitchell. It looked like it was destined to go back to the centre half to poke it home, but Bennett had snuck in, made sure he won it and cleared his lines. Still Ilkeston 3, KHALSA 0 if you're just joining us. He's played 60 minutes in this one. Second half, it's been all KHALSA so far, but they've not really created many opportunities. There's been a lot of long balls, which is what they're trying again. And Bennett is on to this one. Met wins it back. This is Robinson. Out wide to Booth, who's kept it in very well. Sean Williams now's on the right hand side. He's plays it forward to Holdcroft. This is Armstrong. Holdcroft just on the edge of the area. It's got always sort of 2 or 3 red shirts around them though. Whipped in, good chance for Westwood. Oh, he's put it over the bar. Down Westwood. Another golden chance for him. It was a cross from the right hand side. Oh, what a chance for them. I feel disappointed for him. He's got his head in his hands. I don't want KHALSA to score, but the poor guy is by far their top scorer. As I said, 22 goals and 40 appearances for him prior to today, but he's not scored in quite a few games. He's having a real goal drought, not scored since Boxing Day, and he's not going to get a better chance today than that. Ilkeston trying to play on the last man again. No one's happy that the offside flag's gone up on Fife, but it has, and it's given Sean Booth a chance to clear the lines of a free kick. Westwood's quite a big guy. He has had, he must be, well, you'd expect him to be good with his head. He's had 2 good chances today. They've both been headers and neither of them have hit the target. That one in particular was so close to Mitchell's goal that he really should have done a bit better. They've got a chance here though. Holdcroft, he's looking lively since he's come on. Back to Williams. This is Mess. Leon Miles, everyone inside the Ilkeston half now. Ilkeston look fairly content just to defend this 3-0 lead, and you wouldn't blame them for that, would you? It's going to be a KHALSA throw-in just in front of the dugout. The sun's starting to set now. It's a lot cooler than it was. I'll put my jeans back on. Armstrong with the throw. Williams. This is Robinson. Just tries to play it out to the left-hand side, but White's intercepted it, and he's running at the KHALSA defence, and he's got the better of him as well, and the referee's given a free kick against White, who was just running with the ball when Robinson came in to tackle him, and White would have been clean through there. And Alex Marshall's having a word with the referee, trying to find out what on earth he saw, because no one else saw it. Alex Simpson, the referee, has stuck by his guns. And KHALSA have another chance to load the box, but first Carl Dixon's coming on for Alex Marshall by the looks of it. Try and get some score updates while there's a bit of a break in play. See if there's anything interesting. I can see at a glance. So KHALSA take the free kick, load it into the Ilkeston box, but Carl Dixon comes away with it in a combination with Billy Bennett. A bizarre backheel there from Dixon back to Bennett as the ball was dropping. And Hollis is forced into a lunging tackle, and he might have done himself some damage there because he stayed down. He really had to stretch. He didn't win the ball. Play goes on though. This is Fife on the right hand side. He's tackled by Holdcroft. He's putting himself about since coming on. And the ball's going out for an Ilkeston throw-in, and I think that's the last we're going to see of Hollis. He did try to get back up, bless him, but he's gone straight back down. And they've got the substitute board ready, and it's going to be Fabian Smith coming on. I'm excited to see, because I was watching him all of last week at Bilbao, but I thought he was Jefferson. Big round of applause for Hollis. I've got to say, that's probably the best game I've seen Hollis have in an Ilkeston shirt since he's arrived. Really governed the midfield. And Fabian Smith will come on. Signed from Long Eaton not too long ago, Fabian Smith. He's 34 now. Did make 15 appearances for the old Ilkeston town. Despite getting his name wrong so many times last week, I thought he looked really lively in that friendly against Bilborough, which Ilkeston won 5-1 if you weren't there. It was a really good workout for a lot of the fringe players in particular. This is Carl Dixon. He's not been a fringe player this season, just running into trouble though. And Williams will come away with the ball. Billy Bennett tries to go forward to Walker. He stayed on side this time, but he couldn't quite get the ball under control. And KHALSA put the ball forward, but Tom Marshall's there. Oh, it's a beautiful flick on by Walker. Reeves didn't quite read it, but Walker's run it back. But Robinson's there to shepherd it back to the keeper, so nothing comes of it. Still 3-0 to the Robins if you're just joining us, and they have defended really well. White wins a tackle there against Westwood, knocks it back to Liam Mitchell, pumps it back upfield. Very rarely have KHALSA been through on goal. One thing that was noticeable in the Worcester game was how many times Worcester got one-on-one with the keeper, as Liam Mitchell gathers that overhit pass from the KHALSA midfield. But he's not been tested one-on-one today. Ilkeston have defended really well. And I'm sure I wasn't the only one that was very surprised not to see Baker or Shaw in the lineup. That League Cup game last week actually ended a run of 16 consecutive games when Shaw and Baker were lining up alongside each other. Shaw had actually played something like 35 consecutive appearances before that. Unavailable today though. Baker is on the bench, and you wonder if Fowler might want to put another defensive-minded player on at some point just to protect this lead, but I wouldn't change the back four. They've been solid so far. Holdcroft knocks it forward to the number 7, Kinch. Holdcroft tries to lob it over the top. Kinch comes around, but Meikle clears it. He's done really well today, Dion Meikle. Absolutely nothing's got past him. This is Booth, heads it forward on the halfway line, but White intercepts it, but just couldn't quite get the ball under control. He tried and tried again. It's Josh Thomas on the left-hand side. Does well to beat Fife. Fife's coming back at him though, and Thomas might win the free kick here, and he does. And Fife just runs up to the ball to make sure he doesn't take it quicker than Ilkeston want him to. Sun's starting to set here. It's a really nice spring evening. Well, afternoon, I suppose, at 4:30, but any other game this season, it would have been pitch black by now. It's been a beautiful day for football. Only complaint is that all the action has been on the far side to where I'm standing, which is where the ball is again. KHALSA in the penalty area of Williams. Oh, brilliant tackle. Ilkeston have just defended so well today. I think it might be Elliot Reeves. He's running a bit closer to me now, so I'll be able to tell you it is Reeves. He's running at the full back, and the defender's done very well there. It was Kinch, actually, who gets the better of Reeves, who ran all the way in front of the clock tower stand with the ball after some good defensive work. Dixon putting in a lot of effort. Not too pleased he was dropped today, as you can imagine. Perhaps the manager just wanted a bit more of a defensive base. Dixon does tend to be a more attacking option. So he'll just be thinking about the counter-attack now. They've got Fife, Dixon and Elliot Reeves, the furthest 3 players forward. Fair bit of pace and skill between those 3. Got about 20 minutes left here. Still Ilkeston 3, KHALSA 0. And Ilkeston just slowing it right down, taking a few breathers while the ball's out for a throw-in, which White reluctantly takes. This is Fife. Back to White. Knocks it forward. And Booth is there to head it away unchallenged. Elliot Reeves, though, is trying to give him a bit of trouble with the second ball, but Booth does well again, the substitute. Jordan Wheatley heads it forward as well. It's a bit of header tennis here until White comes in with a really strong tackle. Completely got the ball, and the referee's given a free kick. And I couldn't tell you why. score update from Walsall Wood. See if I can update that in a second. The KHALSA free kick comes in, and Meikle's been penalised for leaning on the attacker, and KHALSA have a free kick in a good area here, just outside the penalty area, a little to the right hand side, and it's Sean Williams who's placed the ball. Holdcroft there as well. He scored 2 in his last game. Scored 3 in his last 3 actually, but it looks like it's going to be Williams who's going to take it. He played left wing against Shepshed. He looked really lively, Williams. He's playing left back today. He's going to take this right footed. There's a wall of 4 men for him to beat and a runner. Gets his shot away, and it's gone miles over the bar. Nowhere near working the keeper, and that will frustrate any KHALSA fans that are listening, I'm sure. Let's see if we can get some score updates from Walsall Wood. I could do with some sort of touchline reporter, really. Probably a while away from that. Mitchell's just taken the goal kick, and Reeves gives the ball away. This is Armstrong. KHALSA coming forward here, but Ilkeston are defending in numbers very well. KHALSA smart to put it out wide. Whole cross ball in. Header again from Westwood, and again he can't find the target. He has had their chances today. Well, Dan Westwood, he's a man out of form, that's for sure. The latest in Walsall, by the way, is Walsall Wood 2, Westfields 1. So that would move Wood up to 57 points, 4 points behind Ilkeston, so it'd be as you were at the start of play. Really strong tackle on Elliot Reeves there. He's stayed down just in the centre circle. It's just a punt upfield, and I think he might have been a flail in the arm or an elbow. And he might actually be being replaced here, because Richard Brodie, the new man, looks ready to make his competitive debut for the club. Elliot Reeves not happy at all with the referee. Bit of blood, I think, in his face, maybe. Really weird, this. Ian Deacon's putting water on Reeves' face, but the referee's just stood there watching him, and now Deacon and the ref are having an argument because Deacon had a boot on the touchline. Some of the battles the refs got into today, I'm not sure if he needed to. Alright, it's going to be a debut for Brodie, and it is going to be Reeves who's coming off. Oh, he's got blood streaming down his face, actually, yeah. Incredible that he didn't give a free kick for that, let alone anything more serious. Well-deserved round of applause from Elliot Reeves. Or for Elliot Reeves. He's returning it to the crowd, though. All 1,000 people in the ground are applauding him, except the one holding the microphone. He'll be really happy today. Another 2 goals for him. If you are just joining us, it was the 21st minute. Elliot Reeves was through on goal, just to the right hand side of the keeper, slotted it into the bottom left corner, and then it was a Billy Bennett free kick about 15 minutes later, which went all the way in, quite low down, keeper wrong footed, went for a sea of bodies, but Bennett will claim it for his second goal of the season, I think, off the top of my head. Yep, his 4th goal for the club. And then 2 minutes later, Reeves was in again. And that is where we are at the moment. We've only about 10 minutes left. This is Dion Meikle. All the action has been in Ilkeston's half. They won't be bothered at all. But it is slightly frustrating from a fan's point of view. Chance for KHALSA, though. Another really good tackle by White. a really strong performance at right back from him today. This is Armstrong though, looking to beat Tom Marshall. And he puts a bit of a challenge on Marshall. Neither of them had the ball. It's gone out for a goal kick. KHALSA wanted to hurry up, and Liam Mitchell decided it's probably a good time to roll up his socks while he stands in front of the clubhouse, not making eye contact with the referee. So my math, I think Elliot Reeves has now scored 9 in his last 8 appearances, including that hat-trick he got against Wolves Sporting. He really has been a gem of a signing for Ilkeston. He's been absolute gold dust. But as Richard Brodie is on to replace him, and his first contribution is to give away a free kick just inside the semicircle as he was challenging Miles for the header. If you're listening at home on YouTube, do yourself a favour and search Brodie on Wikipedia, because there's a lot on there. Chance for KHALSA here. Didn't look like the shot was hit with any real venom, but he forced Mitchell into a save. Just to tell you a bit about the new boy then, Richard Brodie. He's 31. He's a 2-time conference winner. He has spent most of his career in the conference or National League for an array of clubs. You'd need a very long bit of paper to write down all the clubs he played for in the conference. Most of them was for York City. They made 135 appearances for them. I think he was Conference Player of the Year at one point. And he did make a few appearances for Morecambe in the Football League in 2012, but he's with the Robins now. And he's just getting a bit of treatment, actually. This might be one of the shortest debuts you've ever seen, because he's actually really struggling. He's hobbling to the side of the field. Again, a really innocuous challenge. Ilkeston have used all of their subs. They've literally only been on the field a minute or two. I hope he can get back on. Yeah, won the conference twice with Crawley and Fleetwood in 2011 and 12. Played with the manager as well at Fleetwood, I think it was. So he knows him well, and he's just trying it out on the sidelines. But it looks like he's in a lot of discomfort. I'm not sure he's going to come back on. As it stands, Ilkeston are down to 10 men. But they have won a really cheap free kick from a throw-in. Just for KHALSA leaning on Dixon. So Ilkeston are finally into the KHALSA third this half. It's taken quite a while. We're in the 80th minute here. And Tom Marshall fancies this. It's not too dissimilar from where he scored against Worcester, and he'll be thinking about doing what Bennett did and hope this goes all the way in. It hasn't though, it's hit the wall and it's deflected to Dixon, but it's picked up by Josh Thomas, who's running back to his own goal. Dixon pressures in and wins Ilkeston a throw-in just in front of the clubhouse. Well, this will really get the feel-good factor back into Ilkeston. It has been a bit down since the Vars defeat. They've struggled since then. They've played 11, only won the 5. As I said earlier, really tough December for them. But if they can win this, and it's almost certain that they will now with 10 minutes to go and a 3-goal cushion, I think a lot of fans will be preparing for slightly longer journeys next year at step 4. KHALSA have absolutely not turned up today. They just can't thread any of these balls through. Pfeiffer's having a run now against 2 KHALSA players just in front of us on this left-hand side. He's got Miles and Meth around him, and he tries to play it through the middle of them, but the keeper gathers it and looks to punt it back up the field. Really different to the reverse fixture. KHALSA won that 1-0 in September, I think it was. Westwood scored that day. It's not been able to find the target today. KHALSA were definitely the better team from what I heard in that game. But yeah, they've not shown much quality today. Ilkeston looking to counter-attack on the right-hand side. KHALSA have got a few numbers back, but this is White running up the skipper. Does very well to get his cross in, and it's cleared by Miles before Booth helps him out, and KHALSA will come away with it. Ilkeston have got a number of men back. One of them's on the floor, though. I think it might be... I'm not sure who that is, actually, because all I can see is his rear end. And I like the players, but I don't like them well enough to know them by their rear ends. But hopefully he's able to continue, whoever it is, because Ilkeston are already down to 10 men. They've used all 3 subs. Brody lasted about a minute. And he's unstrapping his socks now on the sideline, so he's definitely not coming back on. He looks in a really bad way. Alex Marshall's just taking him under his arm and helping him to the changing room. And I think it was Smith that went down. But he's back to his feet now and he'll stay on. Brody getting a really big round of applause. He almost looks embarrassed to be walking to the touchline after only played a minute or two. He's got a bib over his face and it's his right ankle. He's really hobbling on it. As one of the lads helps him into the clubhouse, into the changing room. Oh, but it's really been winding down this second half. There's not been too much action. Ilkeston hardly got forward at all. We've played 83 minutes. And it's still Ilkeston Town 3. KHALSA 0. As a few fans now waving goodbye to people as they head for the exit. Dixon's through on goal, but again the linesman's flag goes up. And again the referee's booking him for taking the shot. Come on, ref. Oh, God. Really unnecessary bookings by the referees. Not often I've seen a ref do that at this level this season. Chance for KHALSA though, down Westwood just in front of the goal. Billy Bennett did enough again. Goodness me. I think Harry's going to put out a Twitter poll for man of the match later. I'm not sure who he's going to pick as his 4. All the back 4 have been fantastic. Hollis did really well. Elliot Reeves got his goal. He got his 2 goals. Walker's looked lively. Fife's done well. Really, everyone's put a shift in. The usual winner of the poll is Liam Mitchell. He won't be winning it today, I can tell you that much. Barely touched the ball. He's been man of the match in 2 of the last 3 games. Time for someone else to have a go. Ilkeston just picking up the ball now in their own half. Whenever they pick up the ball though, they're swamped by yellow shirts because there's not any red shirts in front of them. I think all this second half they've decided, right, let's just sit back, let's soak up the pressure, and that's exactly what they've done. KHALSA have not laid a glove on them. Ball's back with Liam Mitchell. Kicks it forward towards Dixon. He's the furthest man forward at the minute. Fife's on the right, Walker's on the left. But Mess wins the ball in the centre. For all the possession KHALSA have had, there hasn't really been that urgency, that cutting edge, that creativity that you'd probably expect from a side who, well, they look likely to finish second now, but you can never be too sure at this level, can you? I know a lot of people were afraid of KHALSA all season. It seems that they would be the one to really push Ilkeston all the way. But as it stands, Ilkeston are going to have an 11-point cushion on them. Yes, KHALSA have 2 games in hand, but even then you're looking at a 5-point cushion, assuming they win those, which, well, the next game they've got to go, they've got Lisle. Ilkeston know how difficult that can be, and they've got Coventry Sphinx. We know how difficult that can be as well. They do have Walsall Wood a bit later on into their fixtures as well, so both sides will be dropping points. Oh, good chance here for KHALSA. He's sprayed it over the bar though. It was Holdcroft. And I think just before he got his shot off, White put in a challenge on the edge of the area. No, yeah, sorry, he did. I thought the ref might have given a free kick because he's standing on the edge of the area pointing, but I think he's just pointing for a corner. So White did just enough to put him off and win the corner. I'm really surprised KHALSA have done so poorly. They came into the second in the form table, 12 points from the last 6 league games. They've got a chance to end on a high here. So all a bit chaotic inside the penalty area, but Ilkeston get the ball away. Holdcroft on the left-hand side tries to get it in, but it's blocked by Walker, I think that is, on the far side. And like every other Ilkeston player that's got the ball this half, he's just forced to run on his own before losing the ball. This is Williams facing up with White. Lays it back to the number 11, who whips it all the way in. It was Wheatley that gets the ball away though. Challenge on the edge of the area by Smith on Holdcroft. It's all really scrappy in there. Lots of Ilkeston bodies on the line. They're just not letting KHALSA get any of these shots away. This is Armstrong on the right hand side into Mess. Played back to Williams, who's a long way out. He might fancy the shot, he does, but Walker blocks it. And White will come away with the ball now. He's got Dixon ahead of him. Dixon's the furthest man forward. He's got 3 yellow shirts ahead of him and about 10 red shirts about 15-20 yards behind him. Ilkeston really not looking to get out of their own third, and nor should they. They really did do the job in the first half. As we're into the 88th minute here, it's Ilkeston 3, KHALSA 0. Goals 2 from Reeves, 1 from Bennett, and they've just stifled KHALSA in the second half, giving them absolutely nothing. What Ilkeston are like now is a clean sheet. It'd be their first in 6 games. They've been very few and far to come by this season for Ilkeston, but they won't care one bit about that right now because they are sitting pretty at the top of the table. I would quite like to know the score in the other game before this one's done. But if there's one thing I do not do well at, it's multitasking. There's really not much going on in the game in the minute. KHALSA are just knocking it back. Just Ilkeston are just seeing everything out. They're just absorbing all the pressure. It's not pretty, but they're really just cancelling out KHALSA now, not letting them do anything at all. This is Smith just in front of the clubhouse. He's got Dixon central, he wants to use it. He opts to go long instead, and it was a good decision. Out to Walker. He's got a bit of space in front of the clock tower stand now. The KHALSA defenders scamper back to try and deal with him, but Walker slows it up and puts it back to Bennett. And Ilkeston enjoy some rare possession in the opposition half. Wheatley tries to thread it through to Walker, who'll do well to catch it. He does. Smith's in the middle, tries to flick it back to Dixon, but Dixon wasn't quite on the same wavelength. This is Bennett, just inside the KHALSA half. He's got 2 men around him, and he does well to find Wheatley. Back to Bennett. Walker knew he was offside, so he left it. Bennett's touched a bit too heavy there, and it'll be a throw-in for the visitors. Looks like the latest score in the Westfield game is 2-2, which would be, well, even better really for Ilkeston. It would go back to being a 6-point lead at the top. Walsall would still have to come here. If you are listening today and you haven't been to the new Manor Ground, it's Shepshed up next in a few weeks' time. That'll be a great game. Shepshed look really, really decent against KHALSA, and they've got, I know there's a good camaraderie between the 2 sets of fans as well. There'll be a good atmosphere here for that one. Ball's just in the Ilkeston penalty area, being knocked around by the defence. This is Booth on the halfway line to Armstrong. Pumps it forward to no one in particular, and Wheatley gets it away. Williams knocks it back to the captain. So every time KHALSA have the ball, there's an Ilkeston shirt right around them. There's a bit of space now on the right-hand side for Kinch. Whips it into the area towards the back post. It was a good chance. I think that's the number 4 up there, but he's put it over the bar. No, it's not the number 4. I think it was Mess. It was the big man. The number 6 just mistimed his jump. Goes over the crossbar. They've had a few half chances from headers today, KHALSA. They couldn't get any of them on target. And we are going up as a chant from the new Manor Ground. Over 1,000 people here today. That's step 5 in the Total Motions Midlands Premier Division, I think is the full title. Only one promotion spot, some really big clubs in this division now. Likes of KHALSA, likes of Walsall Wood and Shepshed and the Coventry side. Worcester, of course, in there as well. And the way it's looking, it might be the biggest club at this level of English football, really. They look like they're going to be nicking that one promotion spot. As it stands, they've got a 6-point lead at the top of the league. It is very much in their own hands, and everything is looking very good for Lee Fowler's side at the moment. And the former Coventry City player watches on, stood alongside Ian Deacon. He's definitely played his big role this season as well, that's for sure. What they're watching at the minute is, it's just very cagey. It's a bit like I'd say it was like a friendly, but it's not, because we had one of them last week and it was a bit more exciting. It's just KHALSA knocking the ball around, ILKESTON defending by the book. KHALSA having absolutely no luck, and the ball comes back into the grasp of Liam Mitchell, who is in no rush to take this goal kick. Well, they might not often get clean sheets, but they're going to be getting one today by the looks of it, the Robins. Add in that they've scored 17 now in their last 5 home games. It's a fantastic team to get down and watch. Only a fiver if you're in the area. Only a fiver if you come from further afield as well, of course. We will have highlights of this game up on YouTube later in the week. I think it's going to be a lot of first half highlights of... beautiful touch by Dixon. Hold that thought. We might have a second half highlight after all. He's got support alongside him. He might go alone. He does go alone, and the keeper gets a glove to it, and it's going to go out for a goal kick. Oh dear. Fife's going to be livid at him there. The two of them were bearing down on poor Sam Arnold, but the keeper did really well. He's not had many saves today, but that was a good one. And Dixon, as someone that didn't start the game, will be disappointed that he couldn't prove a point to the manager there. Had he squared it to Fife, it would have been a tap-in. But it doesn't matter. The full-time whistle's gone. It's ILKESTON Town 3, Sporting KHALSA 0. I'll get it right in a minute. But ILKESTON have got it right today, that's for sure. Second half was a bit of a non-event. They did all the hard work in the first half. It was absolute textbook by Elliot Reeves to take his first opportunity. He got his second about 6 minutes before the break, and Billy Bennett got one in between. Reeves comes back onto the field now, sporting a Rambo-style bandage around his head. ILKESTON have won the big one here. KHALSA, well, they had a lot of the ball in the second half. They couldn't really do anything with it. A few chances from headers which they couldn't get on target. Never really forced Mitchell into a save. ILKESTON very good value for a 3-0 win. And with results as they are, it's going to leave them 6 points clear at the top of the Midlands Premier, 11 points clear of KHALSA, who have 2 games in hand. And whisper it quietly, but the Robins might just be starting to plan about a second promotion in a second year. Brilliant performance by the team today. Final score, Sporting KHALSA 0, ILKESTON Town 3.